Hi, I'm Matt.
And I'm Dee Dee. We are the hilarious outcome of opposing brains sharing a mutual desire to share knowledge and positive thinking about hemp and cannabis.
We are here to tear down the walls built by Big Pharma and other big companies that seek to keep the human race in fear and divided.
We are here to shatter the myths about hemp and cannabis and change the stigma of this amazing plant. Welcome to Hemp and Happiness with the Hemp Queen
And Emperor.
Podcast. Join us as we venture into this misunderstood and the unknown.
Down.
Are we good to go?
Yeah,
now?
we're live right now.
Sweet. Hey, happy hempsters. Thanks for joining us again on our Hemp and Happiness podcast. And this one's pretty cool. We get to talk about what Governor Beshear did November 15th. So super excited. I don't know if most of you know, but I was part of his medical cannabis advisory committee. And my role, I went to 4 different town hall meetings, and we got to listen to a lot of people and tell their story as to why they want medical marijuana legal here in the state. And I tell you what, there was some gut-wrenching stories. And when I mean gut-wrenching, like all of us were in tears. From veterans to moms taking care of their autistic children that has a ton of medical issues. That poor kid had gastroparesis and just so many different things wrong with him. And he had actually used medical cannabis in a legal state and was doing very well. And then they moved here, and then she couldn't get it anymore. And everybody's like, well, just, give it to him anyway. And she's like, well, what if, the authorities find out and they take my son away? I mean, I'm his caregiver. Like, he's not a kid. He's in his 20s. But, when you've got someone that needs you that much, and then they can't have the medicine that was working for them, that's a big life changing. He even told his mom he wanted to die. So that was just, and he was there, and he was such a sweet kid. To me, they're kids. Anybody under 30 is a kid. But it was so sweet. And then veterans, tons of veterans. My husband spoke a few times. My father-in-law spoke. He actually has a card out in Oregon and has driven out there many times to get the supplies he needs. But, you're breaking the law when you bring that stuff back into Kentucky. So that leads... Until now. Yes. You can only have up to 8 ounces. You must have a certificate from your medical doctor. So that is super important to have that. You need to keep the receipts. And the one thing, though, that it does not help you with is if you get pulled over in another state. They are not going to reciprocate Governor Beshear's order. So you still have to be careful. But at least when you're in Kentucky, if you have what you need to have, obviously you got to be 21 and up. But it is only a misdemeanor. It's truly the difference between a misdemeanor and a felony in Kentucky. So I personally think that this was the way the governor kind of forced the legislature's hands to bring the medical marijuana House bill to a vote. Now, obviously, it's got to pass the House again this year, and I hope there's some modifications made, because I wouldn't say that I was completely in agreement with House Bill 136. I'm glad it passed. I'm glad it opened the door, but there's a lot of things that need to be done with it. I think it's going to force some of these legislators that are holding this up, especially in the Senate, to vote for it. There are about 4 senators that are completely against cannabis in general and medical marijuana in general, and they would not bring it for a vote. So I think that's what's kept it illegal here in Kentucky for so long. But the governor's order also only listed 21 ailments that you could use it for. Qualifying conditions such as cancer, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease, epilepsy, intractable seizures, Parkinson's, Crohn's, multiple sclerosis, sickle cell anemia, severe and chronic pain, post-traumatic stress disorder, cachexia, and I still do not know how to pronounce that, or wasting syndrome. My apologies. Neuropathies, severe arthritis, hepatitis C, fibromyalgia, intractable pain, muscular dystrophy, Huntington's disease, human immunodeficiency virus, or acquired immune deficiency syndrome, HIV or AIDS, glaucoma, and a terminal illness. So those are the 21 things that the governor said was part of the qualifying conditions. There's a few on there that I think should be added. And you think some are like, you have chronic pain.
Oh, okay. Let's take a step back.
Yes.
Okay.
So first we should tell them that this is our second podcast on this, right?
Okay, so not only is this... so we recorded this podcast yesterday.
We did.
Okay, full disclosure. And there was a system malfunction. So this is round 2.0.
Yes.
And if it looks like we're recording this in an empty room, and it sounds like we're recording in an empty room, it's because we are.
Yay!
We're in our new studio at our new store in Indiana, which might be open by the time this airs. Might not.
No.
It'll be
No, not yet.
No. Okay. Well, it's being we're filling it with all types of goodies.
Yes.
Super exciting.
Decorating.
But I don't want to dive down that rabbit hole yet because I want to do a whole episode on the new store.
Of course.
But before, I want to stay on track because I'm really good at staying on track. And kind of piece through what you just said. So let's just, for this part, purely look at the marijuana side of it.
Yes.
So what he's saying is it's legal, but you can't buy it here.
Correct.
You have to get a letter from your doctor.
Correct.
Take it to a legal state that
Correct.
Reciprocates.
Correct, because Ohio does not.
Yeah, which few do.
Right.
Get a card, buy the shit,
Or you can buy rec.
and but you can buy rec anyway. But you can't bring rec back without your medical, right?
No, I don't know about that.
No, because what
it's any legal state.
if you come back and you're like, dude, chronic pain.
I think
They're gonna be like, thanks.
I would not call it a medical card though, because in Kentucky we don't have medical cards.
So you need your
yeah.
So then you can get your doctor here to write a letter that says, "Oh, this person has chronic pain,"
And qualifying
and then you can go to a
condition.
rec state.
Yes.
And then you can bring your 8 ounces back.
Yep.
And if you get pulled over, you can say, "Dude, here's a letter from my doctor that says I have chronic pain."
In Kentucky, yeah, and you need your receipt. So
That's a whole lot of work.
it is a whole lot of work.
That to me, that's like okay, versus just coming to our store,
right?
buying our
Right.
stuff that
But
is
people don't think our
arguably
stuff's
just
real.
as strong.
They don't think our stuff's real, man.
Not having to pay the bullshit tax,
right? Oh my God, Illinois is
yeah,
horrific.
and it just seems
And gas.
That okay. I'm going to say that's zero sum. Okay,
Yeah.
That's not a win or a loss. It's a positive forward
It
step.
is.
But as far as people, it's not like, whoa, prohibition's lifted.
I know.
Fire it up, boys.
Yeah.
Okay,
no.
nah, ain't happening. Okay. Now let's get to this list of ailments. It goes from very serious to very subject to interpretation.
Somewhat. I
Chronic
mean, cancer
pain.
and terminal illness are at the top and bottom.
Right. And that's very easy to prove that someone has
Right.
like a disease like that. But when you get into
which one do you think? Just the pain one?
chronic pain, fibromyalgia, those are two things that you cannot medically prove a person has. You can't say here's the test results. You have chronic pain. Here's the test results. You have fibromyalgia. I'm not saying people don't have those things.
Right.
I'm just saying I could walk in and say, yeah, dude, chronic pain. It's killing me.
Well, I also think people
Give
with
me weed.
But I also think people with chronic pain have been to pain management clinics, have gotten their pills.
That's not what that says.
That isn't what that
I
says.
guarantee you I could walk into the right doctor and say, chronic pain, dude.
Oh, I'm sure you
Oh,
can.
my toe is
get,
killing me.
I mean, I can get PTSD.
Yeah, that's another one.
I really can.
I mean, how many shades of PTSD are there? There's a lot. And I'm in no way trying to delegitimize these symptoms. I'm just saying
but I could
that's
get it.
very easy.
And I haven't been to war.
Versus saying, yes, I have
that's
cancer.
A different PTSD. No, I agree.
I mean,
and I've had cancer.
So the list is zero sum.
Right? Do you have to be active cancer or have
Right.
it right now?
Well, technically, once you have cancer,
post-cancer?
you always have cancer. You're just in
Exactly.
remission.
Right.
If it goes away.
Right.
But it
So-
never really goes away.
Right? So mine could flare up at any time.
Right. So arguably, you cover a
Shut
third of that list.
I do.
I mean,
Plus the biggest
fire it
pain
up,
in the
Dee Dee.
ass.
Okay, so, I'm not trying. I'm not trying to be cynical of this. I'm just saying, that part of this whole thing.
Well, because it's medical,
doesn't really.
If it was rec, it doesn't matter. And the thing that bothers me about this cannabis use in general, I think all of it's medical. Even the people that use it.
I think
for
all of it's
rec.
I think all of it's recreational because I think recreational is medical, and I think that if you say medical. All medical is introducing a new way for more people to make money off of the weed selling process.
Right. Well, yes and no. I think medical, they don't usually charge taxes for medical, but now for rec, that's where you pay all those damn taxes.
But it doesn't matter because you got to pay the pharmacist for a script.
Right. And
so there's your tax. There's your asshole tax right there.
Yep. Which makes
So
no
it's the same.
sense to me at all.
No, I told you it's just another layer for people to make money, for people to cut a little piece out of the pie.
Yeah. Because
which you don't have to pay here right now buying a hemp-derived product.
Well, yeah. I mean, people, I don't know how many times I have to say this, but hemp and marijuana is the same plant. I hear
the
people
THC
argue,
is indistinguishable.
Right. Well, I'm not talking about cannabinoids, but it starts as the same plant. Cannabis sativa L, same damn plant. Or cannabis L sativa. I don't know where the L's it goes, but it's the same damn plant. And what distinguishes the two is the fact that breeding happens and CBD.
Breeding happens.
Yeah, I say breeding.
Bow, chicka, bow, bow.
They breed the plants, one either to be a high CBD strain or the other to be a high THC strain. And if you let hemp flower keep growing, it's going to change over into THC and have a higher THC yield. That's why poor farmers, they end up getting their fields slashed. They grew a hemp variety, but it can change and have a higher THC limit at any time.
Kind of a Lady and the Tramp scenario,
Kinda.
where you've got the pristine plant, then you got the rough, straggly plant. You put a plate of spaghetti in front of them, and the magic happens.
Something like
Next
that.
thing you know,
Oh, you're weird.
you got a new breed.
That's a weird analogy, but
Collie buds, baby.
oh my god, we can think of some names here.
All right,
but how we were getting back to that, we have Delta 9 THC products. It's the same damn THC that is in marijuana. We can only have up to 0.3%. We have to have it tested, obviously, for so many reasons. But it's the same stuff, people.
Yeah.
We
And
have
we've
10
got 20
milligrams,
milligram
15
gummies.
milligrams, 20 milligram gummies. And those 20 milligram gummies are mixed with CBG, which is the mother of all cannabinoids, right? Every cannabinoid comes from CBG. So that's...
I bought some for this weekend.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
I'm getting me some CBN ones. We have Delta 9
I
and
bought
CBN.
those too.
And
I got those too.
Supposedly, CBN is the cannabinoid that gives you more sleep. Now, it's not truly been proven.
I don't think
but-
supposedly.
well,
Anecdotally, I can tell you that shit works.
Well, and I'm going to find out.
Have you not taken those?
Not
Those
yet.
yet? Oh, yeah. They're good.
Now, the THCV ones, they definitely put a little pep in your step. Those are nice.
It's the sativa blend and the indica blend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's switch gears. Let's talk about the Delta 8 side of this whole thing.
So not only did the governor sign that executive order about medical marijuana, he also signed an executive order that says Delta 8 is not a controlled substance in Kentucky and that it shall be regulated like CBD is with the labeling requirements. So yay me, because I worked my fucking ass off keeping those products legal in the state of Kentucky. I put a lot of money into it, my own personal money into it, our business money into it to help pay for the attorneys to fight this because I knew all along that these products were legal. There's nothing in the statutes, nothing in the 2018 Farm Bill. I mean, I could go on and on about it. So I knew. So his order literally I'm pretty much sealed it in stone that Delta 8 is legal and not a controlled substance. And the new thing is that there will be new labeling requirements, the same labeling requirements that they issue for CBD products. But not only that, in order to make these products, you have to have a food safety permit. And I applaud that because there are so many people that are making it. There's some that make it in their stores. There's some that's making it in their barns, garages, kitchens, just willy-nilly. You can buy the distillate pretty much anywhere and start making your own edibles, right? So this will, any of those packaged products you see on shelves, our competitor shelves or whatever, smoke shops, if they're not made by a licensed food safety permit, I would not buy that shit. Don't buy it. I think it's super important to know where you're getting your product from. And it requires the testing. I think it requires testing. But the labeling has to have so much certain stuff on it. I know the Kentucky Hemp Association is working on more regulations, meaning that 21 and up, which we already do, which everyone should be doing anyway. This stuff is not for children. Now, if a parent wants to give some to their teenage child, that's on them. That ain't on us.
Well, here's my question on that. So this is probably a better part of it than the marijuana. The marijuana part is meh.
Yeah.
Not one, not other. Zero sum. The Delta 8 part is nice. And what makes me think particularly about that is the story that you just told about that young man with all those issues. Is he going to get the same medical benefit from Delta 8 that he is from marijuana? And since you can sell Delta 8 in Kentucky in pretty much any milligram,
I think
he could get a medical level dose.
Yeah.
So why can't his mother just provide him with Delta 8?
Well, she may not have knew about Delta 8.
Well, she does now.
She does now.
So we may not have to really worry about.
We might not.
Medical.
I mean,
we could skip the whole medical thing, go straight to rec, let them take a couple years to figure that out, make sure the state doesn't get taxed to death, which, by the way, there is a legitimate prohibition by taxation going on in the cannabis industry right now because these tax rates are so high that 40%, the last time I checked, of marijuana businesses were in the red, debt, making negative income.
Yeah.
And the only ones that are really making it are the big companies where the people you don't want to buy from anyway, because all you're doing is taking your money and padding their pockets.
Yep.
And they're really not looking out. They're big corporate, big pharma replacements is basically what they are.
Yeah, they are. And
looking
some of
to
them
capitalize.
are part of big pharma too.
Right.
Yeah.
So just kind of food for thought there. Maybe we're on the right track with what we have.
And the thing about that too, Matt, is a lot of those big companies, they're on boards that are supposed to be pro hemp, and they're not. They're not pro hemp. They're pro marijuana.
That's because the hemp hurts their industry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So while could we do that here in Kentucky? We could. We definitely could. Do I think it should be run by the Kentucky Department of Agriculture? Hell no.
Who's going to run it?
The ABC could. Or even the state police. Why not?
Oh, my God. Did those what? Did that shit just leave your mouth?
Definitely not the KDA. I mean, I think there'd have to be certain things in place there for that.
So you have a choice of Satan?
Even the cabinet
Satan?
for family and protection or whatever.
Satan.
I know. It'd be nice if we could self-regulate ourselves, but obviously we can't do that.
Well, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, so I'm going to just leave that alone.
Yeah, just leave that one alone. But it would be great. I mean, I think I did a news story the other day about the Delta 8. A lot of people what's that? Oh, I didn't know about that. Hey, what's that? And it really is word of mouth too, even about the Delta 9 products. Because everybody's like, you can sell that? How can you sell that? It's all based on weight, man.
Well, yeah. And I would argue that right now there's more unreputable Delta 8 sales people and companies out there right now than reputable ones, and that's a problem.
It is.
So I do hope that these regulations that he's put into this does affect that because I mean I got to be honest. After the little tour I did this summer of our quote unquote competitors, it really opened my eyes as to why all this Delta 8 not wanting to Delta 8 not to be sold happened.
Yep.
Because some of the people that are selling it don't need to be selling
I agree with that.
and they don't have people's wellness or best interests in mind.
And the shame about it is
a big eye opener.
Some of them are selling it to kids, and that is what is going to hurt us. Apparently, there's it's not a CBD store in Prospect, but it is a vape store in Prospect. I don't know the name of it, and I'm not going to rat them out, but they're doing some shady stuff over there. And I think that...
yeah, but you don't know that. That's all hearsay.
That is hearsay, yeah. And I just, even for anybody that is selling these products, it has to be 21 and up. The kids don't need this. This is probably...
Unless they have a medical condition.
Well, unless it's from their parent. Their parent needs to give it to them. We shouldn't, as shop owners,
but
be the
we've
ones
covered
giving it to them.
the effects of anandamide on an undeveloped brain in several episodes.
Yes,
so
we have.
If you're curious about that more, go back a few episodes.
Yeah.
The one on schizophrenia covers that pretty well, and there's another one. I can't remember which one.
I don't know. You talked all about that, though,
Yeah.
and how it affected your endocannabinoid system. So,
Yeah.
I just think, and maybe it wasn't even Prospect. Who knows? Maybe it wasn't there, but all I know is that if you are a shop owner, please do not sell this stuff to children. I mean, that's the one.
Well, yes, but it's also up to the consumer because the reality is if people will buy shit, people will sell that shit.
I know.
Because we as humans have a responsibility to be independent thinkers.
We do.
Am I putting the right thing in my body?
But not kids. They're stupid.
Well, then that's the parent's responsibility.
I know.
Isn't it?
It should be this parent's responsibility anyway. So
they need to bring back the ass whooping days.
Oh, you ain't kidding. Oh, you ain't kidding.
And get rid of this whole positive
reinforcement.
I'm all about positive reinforcement, but I think it goes both ways. If you reinforce the positive and show
don't discipline the negative stuff,
show discipline towards the negative, you've got a good course.
Yeah.
But I think it's moderating that. But anyway, I don't want to get down that rabbit hole.
I think Gen Xers kind of fucked up the kids because we didn't have parents around as much, and then the kids just we are helicopter parents.
True and untrue. You always have the previous generation, and I don't believe in this generational bullshit. And I've said this before because. If you're part of one generation, first of all, the previous generation always bitches about the incoming generation.
Well, yeah,
because they're never as good. They're never as productive. Do you know what? Actually, I'll just say this quick. Do you know which generation technically had the most opportunity and the best economic ground? Yes, that is 100% correct.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Boomers. They can get a house for $20,000.
And do you know that is when social Marxism reached its zenith as far as infiltrating the
I can see that.
Our culture and diminishing our economic and governmental ideals in the United States. Kind of interesting stuff, but we might cover that in another podcast. Anyway, the point is, I don't believe in generational stuff, and I think that every generation is always going to blame the other generation. But really, you can only blame yourself. Right. And it's it's like, oh, these kids. Okay, well, you raised those kids, so that's on you, dude. Like that is on you because you raised them. They are a product of the environment that you created for them.
Unfortunately.
And the reality that you've created. So these damn kids are our damn responsibility.
But
reap what you sow.
Either way.
Moving on.
I still think that Governor Beshear did a great thing. And I think there's no question about it. He is the first governor that's even tried to move this stuff forward in Kentucky.
Yes, but Governor Beshear, if you're listening to this, I'm still pissed at you about that quarantine bullshit, dude.
Man, I don't was just trying to keep us safe. Shush.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was. Shush.
Trying to inhibit my right to paddleboard.
Oh, Jesus. You were still out and about. I don't even want to hear it.
That's true. I do whatever the fuck I want.
Yes, you do. Exactly. So shush. He's trying to keep us safe, people.
No.
He was listening to higher
trying to keep us in fear and afraid.
I don't necessarily think that was him.
All I'm trying to say is he's not redeemed.
Okay,
he's still got to do like one more good fucking make it legal, dude, and then we're even.
He chose me to be part of his team.
Make recreational marijuana even, then we're even. That is it. I will not accept your paltry offering.
That he cannot do an executive order
after the COVID quarantine stuff that we had to endure.
It's funny. Speaking of that, though, I mean, we've had people call us, be like, "Can I get my marijuana there?" I'm like, "No, there's no dispensaries in Kentucky." Now, if he could have that kind of power and open up some dispensaries in Kentucky, well, that's a different story.
See, but we're in Indiana now.
Well, we are, but they're ass backwards just as much as Kentucky is.
Hey, you know what? I went to Indiana to eat at restaurants, but back when Beshear was like, "Oh no, you can't be doing that." You can in Indiana, 2 miles away from my house.
And that's why you'll be at this store and I'll be
at
the other store.
And you know what? I didn't get COVID till 6 months after quarantine was over.
Yeah.
So
in December and January when everyone else got it this year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That International Quarantine Month.
It was.
Or International COVID Month. Anyway.
So anyway, those are the awesome things that the governor did do, and I'm proud of him.
Hey, you did something.
Oh, man. He's actually been a good governor, so shut up. We're going to have this argument.
Hills and valleys. Valleys.
Well, aren't they? Don't they all? But anywho, if you guys have questions out there about this order and want to learn more about it, we are more than happy to answer questions. Well, he might not, but I will.
I'll answer your questions, but I might tell you what you don't want to hear.
Well, and keep in mind, people, you do not need to drive. We have tinctures, we have capsules, we have tons and tons of edibles.
And we deliver.
Yeah, we deliver.
502hemp.com.
We ship it. Yep. And pretty soon, 812hemp.com. So yes, but we have all that stuff. We have vapes in the Delta 8. So just keep that stuff in mind. We're always here to help and always here to help you find the best product for your needs too. And and don't give up on CBD products either. CBD is like the backbone and the core to medical, if you ask my opinion. It does so much for our bodies that people always just want to get high or just use THC products to help with their ailments. But man, all the other cannabinoids and having them all in one product, which is the Maria Extracts gummies, those things are the bomb. I mean, you get the THC, you get a huge amount of CBD, and I'm telling you, people with fibro, people with osteoarthritis, people that just need some sleep, people in pain, those gummies have really, really been phenomenal. So do not think that only THC is needed. All of the cannabinoids are needed, and I will always be pro cannabinoid, period, not just THC. So just keep that in mind. Reach out to us if you have questions. You can always get us on social media, Instagram, 502hemp, on Facebook. We are 502 Wellness Center because Facebook sucks. And we are also at info at 502. I'm never going to let them down on that, but info at 502hemp.com. Call our store, 502-654-7100. And we'll have a new 812 store location opening soon, so don't forget that. But thank you guys, as always, for listening to Matt and I banter back and forth about what we believe in. And, keep it hempy out there and definitely enjoy the holidays. Don't get too stressed out about those holidays.
And even though that this is after Thanksgiving, I just want to say I am thankful for you.
Ditto.
I'm thankful for our customers. I'm very thankful for our listeners, especially the people that come into the store after a podcast and either tell me about what they really liked or what they really didn't like. I like them. I like to hear both.
Same.
And you're definitely not going to hurt my feelings if you got a problem.
You might
come in and tell me.
Just talk too bad about the problems.
No,
just
tell me. I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
I like positive reinforcement. I'm that kid.
But just that people are listening and being inspired and thinking for themselves.
Yeah.
I would rather have you think for yourself and tell me I'm full of shit than not think for yourself and be like, man, that was great. Yeah, you hit it. I mean, if I hit it, and you agree, awesome. If you don't, awesome. You're actually thinking independently, and that's if we do anything, that's awesome.
I promise you, it is rare that I completely agree with that man.
Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah.
Right on.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Hempin' Happiness with the Hemp Queen
And Emperor.
Keep your mind ever open and expanding. Like, subscribe, review, follow us, all the good stuff. And
Keep it hempy out there.